of all the things in the world, of all the things that a human being can do, why yoga? Everything that human beings can do is essentially an expression of who they are. Somebody sings a song, somebody dances, somebody writes a book, somebody paints a picture. Whatever else we do is an expression of who you are. You may be conscious of it, you may be unconscious of it, but still everything that you say, everything that you do, everything that comes out of you is essentially an expression of who you are. So yoga, in that way, is diametrically opposite to this, because it's not an expression of who you are. It's about determining as to who you are. It's about determining as to what you want to be. Changing the very fundamentals of one's existence. Today, there is substantial medical and scientific evidence to show that the very fundamentals of the activity of your brain, your chemistry, even your genetic content can be changed by practicing different systems of yoga. This needed no confirmation because we've always witnessed this. But today there is scientific data to prove this. So this is not an expression of who you are, this is about determining the nature of who you wish to be, changing the fundamental ingredients which has made you who you are. So yoga as a system needs much more involvement than any other things that any other forms of things that we do, which are merely an expression of who we are. If you find full expression through any particular activity, it may also leave you somewhat transformed. If you cook with all your heart, some transformation may happen. Yes? Taking care of a cow can change your life, you know. If you sing with all your heart, some transformation may happen. If you dance with all your heart, some transformation may happen. But that is only a certain impact that is happening because of absolute involvement in a particular activity. But essentially that activity by nature is an expression of who you are. It is not determining the nature of who you are. So when we transform our activity, not as an expression of who we are, because who wants to find expression like this in the morning? Definitely not, isn't it? So, it is not an expression, it is a method, it is a means, it's a technology through which you can change the shape of who you are. Literally also, otherwise also. You can change the very shape of who you really are right now. That can be transformed. Because who you are right now as a person is a combination of things. genetic material, before that, the karmic substance that you carry. Because of that, you chose a certain womb, so the genetic material. And since the moment you were born, whatever kind of impressions that have gone into you in the form of variety of experiences, situations, thoughts, emotions, relationships, associations, whatever else you have imbibed, all these things make you a certain kind of person. When you say, I am a certain kind of person, what you're saying is, I have this kind of compulsions. When you say, I am this kind of person, what you're saying is, this is the kind of compulsions that I identify myself with, so I am this kind of a person. People, it's a very Western thing, but it's very much there in India today, because a lot of Indians are far more Western than West. If you go all the way west, you come back to India. So they are much more Western than Westerners are today. So people say, I'm a morning person, I'm an evening person. So what they mean is, morning, I cannot wake up in the morning. That means I'm an evening person. I can't stay awake in the evening, so I'm a morning person. Not only that, people… it's going far, some are BlackBerry people, some are Apple people. So our world is getting divided in so many ways. They're not just instruments that you use and keep it down, you get identified with it. So there are chapati people, there are rice people, there are dosa people, there are idli people, all kinds. So, what kind you are is essentially a certain type of compulsions. So you set yourself into the process of yoga because you don't want to be this kind or that kind. That you will be the kind that you're required to be in a particular moment. If it's morning, you're a morning person. If it's evening, you're an evening person. If you're not required to be a person, you're not a person. That is, you become flexible. This flexibility, we start working with your body to start with. Afterwards, it should come to every aspect of your life. Your physical structure, your psychological structure, your emotional structure, your karmic structure, everything should become flexible, that it can be whatever it is required to be. It is not stuck being this way or that way. So yoga as a process, yoga as a method, yoga as a technology, yoga as a science is essentially to break the limitations of a certain concretization that happens, which we call as personality. To evolve from being a person to a presence. If you're a person, that means you have made a shell out of yourself. You formed a shell, within that shell only you can operate. If you break this shell, you will no more be a person, but simply a presence. As life is, as God is, just a presence. If it can be encased in a shell, it becomes a person. So yoga means slowly you're working on making the shell thinner and thinner, more and more porous, that one day you can exist without a shell. So essentially, in your experience, yoga means morning. Why the sadhana, the way it is all aspects of physicality are cyclical in the universe. Planets are going around the sun, the solar system are moving, everything in the galaxy, in the cosmos is cyclical. The more and more you're identified with your physical system, the more and more cyclical you are also. Your experiences are cyclical, the process of life is cyclical. If you watch carefully enough, even the situations that you face in your life come in cycles. So yoga means, on one level, to break the cycle of life. What is a circle right now? We want to open it up and make it a straight line. Because if you're going in circles, if I say you're going in circles, what does it mean to you? You're not going anywhere. It just gives you an impression that you're going somewhere, but you're not really going anywhere, you're going through the same thing again and again. So yoga means to open up the circle and stretch it out like a straight line, that if you follow the line, you go somewhere, you're not going round and round. Nature is not going to release you so simply. You have to work at it and work at it and work at it. Otherwise, you must be happy doing the circle. A circle also can be described as a circus. If you become conscious, the whole thing looks like a circus. If you are not conscious, you can only see 3 feet in front of you, then it's all real. If you can see the whole circle of your life, suddenly it becomes like a circus. Once you realize it's a circus, you don't want to go through the circus again and again. Only if your vision is too limited, you can see only 3 feet in front of you, everything is real for you. If you open up and see the whole circle the way you're going, it looks like a circus and definitely you don't want it to continue forever, you want to do something about it. So these cycles, these repetitive cycles of compulsiveness is coming because there are various types of memories in the system. Memories, karmic memories, information essentially means memory, isn't it? It is the foundations of information that we carry which has constructed this body the way it is. To live in it and not to be off it will not come easy. I'm not saying it's difficult, but it needs to be worked at. The sadhana is just about this. However simple the sadhana is, every day if it is worked at, slowly one can see a certain level of freedom happening within you step by step, maybe inch by inch, maybe micromillimeter by micromillimeter, but nobody can say it is not releasing you. It will slowly release you. If you want to go rapidly, a lot more to do. You don't mind going slowly, something to do. Because what is human is not an established state. It is a possibility. It is not a fixed state. If this possibility has to be made use of, there is a whole system of understanding that needs to happen. Understanding the mechanics of how this life functions and what we can do with it. This mechanics, this technology, this science, we are referring to as yoga. I don't know what types of stuff you're doing, but my experience in United States, particularly in California, a lot of people believe yoga started in California. Yes. I met somebody who seriously believed it was Madonna who started yoga. Yes. So this mechanics of life, this is as simple as this. I'm sure almost all of you are carrying an instrument, some kind of electronic instrument, a phone at least. The more you know about this phone, the better you can use it. Is that so? Last year, the cell phone companies in India made a survey. India is the largest growing market for telecommunications right now. Every month we are adding about 5.5 million cell phones, okay. In a year, about 60 million cell phones are being added to the service, because everybody is having 3, 4, 5 these days. They made a survey. That's the second one, you haven't heard the first one. They made a survey and they found out that 97% of the people are using only 7% of the capabilities that are there in an ordinary phone. I'm not talking about the smartphone, I'm talking about the dumb phone. In the dumb phone, 97% of the people are using only 7% of its capabilities. So they were contemplating, if we remove 90% of the electronics, still most people will never know. And we can even give them a 500 rupee discount. They will be happy, we will be happy, you know. Maybe they've already taken it off, we don't know. Only if you try to use all of them, all the functions, then you realize something is not working. So, in a little gadget you're using only 7%. This is the gadget. Every damn gadget has come out of this. How much percentage do you think are you employing this gadget? Just make a guess. How much percentage? 2, 5? You're being very generous to yourself. It's well below 1%, because for your survival process, to conduct your life in the material world, you do not even need 1% of what this is. This is capable of perceiving the whole cosmos. If you prepare it properly, if you hold it, this is like an antenna. If you hold it in the right position, it can just grasp everything in the existence. It is just that we are doing all kinds of things with it, because right now, our whole perception of life is limited to the physical nature of the existence. Physical is like the peel of the fruit, it has no purpose of its own. In the sense, if you have a fruit, the moment you eat the fruit, the peel goes straight to the trash can, isn't it? The peel is only a package. Only because the fruit is valuable, package is important. Right now as you sit here, this body is very important. You have to feed this, you have to clothe this, you have to decorate this, you have to pamper this in so many ways. Tomorrow morning, that's something inside which you never experienced. If that goes away, nobody wants to have any business with this. Yes? Only because the fruit is inside, this peel has become very valuable. Now yoga means not just about twisting your body, not about standing on your head, not about holding your breath. All these things a circus artist can do better than most yogis. Really? Yes or no? You don't think so? A circus artist can do far better than most yogis in terms of twisting the body, doing this, doing that, holding different positions. That is not the purpose of yoga. Unfortunately, if you utter the word yoga, people think you have to be in some impossible posture. Yoga is not about postures, it is just a minuscule aspect of yoga. Yoga means, in your experience, everything has become one. The word yog means union. What is the union? What can unite with what? As you sit here, your idea and your sense and your experience of who you are is very strong. You're here as an individual. But what the trees are exhaling right now, you're inhaling. What you're exhaling, the trees are inhaling. Or in other words, one half of your lung is hanging out there. Yes or no? This is not just in terms of breath. Today, modern physics is proving to you that as you sit here, every subatomic particle in your body is in constant transaction with everything else in the existence. If this transaction stops, you will cease to exist. So yoga means to know it by experience. Modern science is proving to you the whole existence is just one energy. The religions of the world have been screaming for a long time that God is everywhere. Whether you say God is everywhere or you say everything is one energy, are we talking about the same reality or a different reality? God is everywhere, everything is same energy. Are we talking about the same reality or a different reality? Same reality. It is just that a scientist has never experienced this. He has arrived at it through mathematical deductions. A religious person has not experienced it. He believes it because it's written somewhere or it's said by somebody. If you are a hard case that you are not willing to settle for deductions or belief systems, then you become a yogi. Yes, if you're a very hard nut, you want to know it yourself, then you become a yogi. You want to know the union of the existence, you want to know the oneness of what it is, not believing it. Like you experience the 5 fingers of your hand, if you can experience everything around you, then we say you're in yoga.
As we take a moment to pause and reflect, it is important to remember that the true power of yoga lies in how it invites us to explore the deepest dimensions of ourselves. It is not just about external benefits like health, peace, and joy, but about the profound journey inward to discover how we truly are and the limitless potential within. Yoga, as Sadhguru shares, is more than practice. It is an opportunity to explore and shape the very essence of our being. Every moment, every breath is a chance to go deeper beyond the surface of our living and uncover the capabilities that we might have never seen existed. In a world where we often look outwards for an answers, yoga encourages us to turn inward, to look within, and to align ourselves with the essence of who we truly are. It is a call to step into your highest potential and to live a life with more awareness, clarity, and purpose. Take a moment for yourself, reflect, breathe, and remember that this journey is about discovery, not just in the practice. What you uncover in yoga is simply a mirror of the possibilities already within you. Again, this is not a summary of Sadhguru's word, it is simply my interpretation of the deep wisdom he imparted. Kindly keep them separated and do not misunderstand. Thank you for joining, and we will see you tomorrow. Until then, please take care. Namaskar.